Wondering if the Premier is expected to come back? No? Okay, Speaker, then my question, I guess, will be for the Minister of Finance. Minister, while your Premier was out jogging, Ontario lost 300,000 good-paying manufacturing jobs. You can almost run the alphabet, Minister, from Sklar, Pepler and Ajax to the General Motors transmission and assembly plants in Windsor. The list in between is long, Minister. ExxonMobil Chemical Films in Belleville, Saputo Dairy in Brampton, Navistar in Chatham, Daimler Trucks in London and St. Thomas, and its bus factory in Mississauga. Then there's Etzka in Niagara Falls, the General Motors Camaro production in Oshawa, as well as its 110-year operation in St. Catharines. Minister, I can keep going on. Baskin-Robbins in Peterborough, John Deere in Welland, Southwire Cable in Stouffville. As we approach Christmas and the New Year, Minister, workers in these communities have lost hope. Minister, where is your jobs plan for the people of Ontario?
Thank you. Be seated, please. Be seated, please. Minister of Finance.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, and I appreciate the question because it allows me the opportunity to once again remind the members opposite that our jobs plan has been working to the extent that we've created over 470,000 net new jobs since the depths of the recession. We've got over 600,000 new jobs that have been created since 2003. And we recognize that the market is changing, and we must do everything in our power to continue to invest and stimulate that growth. Things that the member opposite has opposed, Mr. Speaker. So let me cite some issues. We've created more jobs in Ericsson, Canada, in Ottawa, 35,000 to 105 jobs. We've created more jobs in Cambridge because of Toyota. We brought in Ford and supported them in Oakville. We were the ones that supported GM in Ingersoll. We've done more in St. Mary's, Ontario, to create more jobs because we recognize the change in manufacturing sector. We've done so in Brantford, we've done so in Brockville, we've done so in Rappaport, Ontario, we've done so in Wallsburg, Ontario, and in Bradford and in Woodstock.
Thank you. Supplementary.
Well, thank you, Mr. Speaker. Back to the Minister of Finance. Minister, the Heinz plant in Leamington, in your Premier's recent drive-by photo op, is just another example of your careless approach to Ontario's ailing manufacturing sector. Minister, here are the facts about your pathetic job-killing plan. 1 million people are out of work in Ontario today. 300,000 net manufacturing jobs have been lost. Ontario is dead last, Minister, in wage growth in Canada, and our middle class has been gutted by your Liberal government. But, Minister, the good thing is it doesn't have to be this way. Only Tim Hudak and the Ontario PECs understand the severity of Ontario's jobs crisis, and only Tim Hudak and the Ontario PECs have put forward a bold plan to modernize Ontario's labour laws and deal with the thousands of job losses your government has caused. Minister, will you continue to run away from the manufacturing jobs crisis, or will you finally admit that you simply don't have any ideas to create jobs and grow Ontario?
Stop the clock, please. Be seated, please. Thank you. Minister of Finance.
Minister of Economic Development and Employment, Mr. Speaker.
Minister of Economic Development and Employment.
Well, thank you, Mr. Speaker. And first of all, I'm going to give the opportunity to the member opposite to apologize and correct the record because, quite frankly, he's scaring the heck out of Ontarians when he comes up with figures like 1 million people unemployed. He knows the figure is roughly half that figure. So I'm going to invite him, give him the opportunity to correct that record. And I want to tell him that we've got a jobs plan. The problem is that party opposite isn't supporting it. And I know that it pains the member opposite that his party didn't support the Southwestern
member from Halton
that we created a year ago. And in fact,
because he couldn't hear me, I'll make sure he does. The member from Halton, come to order.
And in fact, Mr. Speaker, of course, I know that he feels bad that his party didn't support the Southwestern Ontario Development Fund because the first two projects that were funded out of that were actually funded in his riding, Armo Tools and Lambton Conveyors, which together created more than 120 new jobs and sustained more. And together that the Southwestern Ontario Development Fund has already created and retained more than 7,000 jobs,
Thank you.
Mr. Speaker.
Your question. Here, the third party.
Thank you, Speaker. My